a final edition of our March podcast.
It's March Madness. Have you guys watched any of the basketball?
I watched quite a few games. I got into St. Peter's.
I've watched zero.
That's too bad. There's some good games.
I wasn't into it. No, I'm not into the college basketball anymore. I think the climate has changed. It's
like how? Like
that the kids are there for 1 year, 2 year. You can't follow a team.
I got you.
When I was I don't know how old I was, college maybe, high school. This is the last one that I really remember watching was when Georgetown with Patrick Ewing was winning it year after year after year, or at least going, right? And you could follow these kids through their college career.
Years, yeah.
Yeah, but now they're one and done a lot of times.
So I don't want to diminish why you don't like it, but I will say that my wife and I were watching it, and we were getting to learn them after the first game, and then
are you guys talking about March Madness?
When we watched them for the second game, we kind of knew who they were.
What is it?
So like even that
college
made
basketball
made us into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
I don't. To the novice here, I don't know jack shit about college basketball.
There's ball.
Well, I know about basketball, but college basketball I don't. So, and people are talking about the Big 12, the Big 8, Big 4. I got nothing. I don't know any of that shit. So, I mean,
well, they all have their conferences, right? You just described a whole bunch of conferences.
Just like football, right? Just like college football.
And then there's two major tournaments at the end. When everybody's said and done with their regular season, there's two major tournaments. There's the NCAA tournament, right? That's the big one, the March Madness, right? And then teams that don't get invited to the March Madness, the big one, go to the NIT tournament.
NIT.
Which, by the way, is 32 teams as well. I mean, well,
wow, that's
32
a big
teams, not 64.
So what do you have to qualify to get to the NCAA?
Yes. So you either have to be invited or
win your conference, right?
Or you can win your conference to get in. Like there are some teams that would not make it, not get invited, but they won their conference. Doesn't happen very often, but they win their conference championship, and then they automatically get a berth to the show.
All right.
And so there's always controversy because there are teams that people are like, how'd they not get invited? Like Texas A&M. People were there was a lot of chatter about A&M not getting invited to the tournament this year, right?
So did they win their conference?
They went to the championship and lost in the championship.
They lose to Arkansas?
So they lost to Tennessee.
It would seem like you would want like the top four to go. Well, or is it just typically not enough?
Well, that was just of that conference. But it's still the SEC conference. I mean, it wasn't a slouch conference. Anyway, there was a lot of chatter about it being basically total garbage.
But, if Duke lost their championship,
they would be in.
They would be in.
Right.
That's right. Or North Carolina, the Blue Bloods of college basketball.
Like I said, you don't have to win your championship.
So you just have to be a heavy hitter.
Yeah, you got
sometimes, yeah.
Oh, so it's all about money.
Unless your record is just
that
crap.
Too.
I think that's most of it.
But you have to be ranked, which means you have a good record.
So there was some team, I don't want to pretend I'm authority on this at all, but you guys had mentioned there was some team that wasn't even supposed to make it, beat a big-time league. You mentioned on Saturday.
So St. Peter's, the small school, I don't even know where it is. Do you know?
I have no idea.
Anyway, so they were the first 15th seed to ever make it to the Elite Eight. Or was it Sweet 16? Elite Eight.
Elite Eight, yeah, because who beat them?
North Carolina
beat them. They're in the Final Four.
But they beat a couple good teams to get there. They won 2 games. They went two games deep in the
let's say they're like 32 teams
64.
on either
64 total.
So you have 32 on each side.
32 and 32. And how fast does that 32 go? Like the first round, is it like they play 32 games in a day?
Well, that's why they call it March Madness. They rip through it, man.
They start on Thursday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right?
Well, and that's to get through 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's like 15 games a day.
Oh, it's nuts.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
15 games a day. So everyone's just kind of like just checking them off the list. And that's where the March Madness numbers come in, where you pick the brackets and you can try to figure out where it gets down. You put in $5 and see if you can.
I would say there's probably, from a standpoint of like, I don't know if it's betting, but, filling out brackets and like seeing if you've got the right bracket, that is the biggest. That tournament is the biggest of that type of thing.
I think the reason I didn't pay attention this year is this is the first year I didn't do a bracket.
Right.
I didn't do it, so I was just like.
So you were kind of disinterested.
And my teams that I root for, Cincinnati and Xavier and Ohio University, were not in it.
Right.
So they got out, and I wasn't interested, and maybe that's why I didn't do a bracket. I don't even know, was Ohio State in it? Did they lose pretty early?
I don't know.
They're up.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were all over it, but I will tell you is that we watched a couple games and When my
They're
wife,
always exciting.
yeah, when my wife's screaming at the TV for a college basketball game, I'm like, okay,
Was that the women's
entertaining.
women's college basketball?
no, it was not. It was actually.
What was that
men's.
final score? Like 80-2.
Oh my god, that was so bad, so bad.
So is it over?
Oh, no.
It's Final Four. It'll
Final
be
Four
this
now.
weekend, right? It'll
yeah,
be this
so
weekend.
it's what Duke,
North
Carolina,
Villanova,
and
to Kansas.
is it Kansas? Yeah,
Kansas is the other one.
that's right.
Which 4 that they're always typically there.
Oh yeah, powerhouse
Yeah.
program.
Well, just like football, you got Alabama, Ohio State. You know those guys, Michigan, the big guys that are always there. Clemson.
Yep.
Here lately, basketball's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll
For
have
sure.
you'll have ones every now and then, like UConn will pop up, and make a run for it. And what the hell's the private school that does well? Gonzaga.
Oh yeah, no, I
Uh,
mean there's a number of teams that can make a run in any given
Right.
any given year. But yeah, it was exciting. So yeah, so Final Four is this weekend, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I guess. Yeah, I haven't watched.
That's
shit.
interesting. So I wouldn't mind watching the Final Four.
Yeah, well, it's coming up. And
So,
tonight,
is it-
the NIT Final Four has started. I know that A&M is playing tonight.
Oh, that's
they're in
interesting.
they're in the final.
They're in a Final Four.
Nice.
Yeah.
So NIT is basically like the
people that didn't make it.
the
It's
people that didn't
the-
make it, or what do they call that? They've got different leagues of baseball, minor leagues.
Right.
So the NIT is kind of like the minor leagues.
Yeah, apparently the nickname for NIT, and I don't even know what it really stands for, but they say it not in tournament. They're dogging the teams that didn't make the real tournament.
Well, it's not a very attractive acronym, in my
NIT?
opinion.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, is that short for nitwit? I mean,
something? I don't even know what it stands
Not
for.
in tournament. I mean, there's all kinds of negatives that you can pull out of that right away. I would have like,
Well,
you
not in. Oh,
know, ooh,
he's here.
So the Final Four, what you guys were just talking about.
Yeah.
I like Duke is normally like. Well, hold on a second. We got a guest.
Yes, we do.
We got a
Oh.
guest. We forgot to tell him. He showed up a little late, and now he's pouring a bourbon.
he's
What is
joking.
that bourbon?
Oh, that's right. We didn't even talk about the bourbon yet.
He jumped right into March Madness.
Yeah, we sure did. All right, so this is a repeat guest, Rob. Thanks for joining us again.
Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, all right. So he liked it so much the last time that he agreed to come back. I don't think we've had that before, have we?
No, and he's not shit faced this time.
Oh,
No,
whatever.
not yet.
Not yet, anyway. Wait till we get to the powerful bourbons.
Well, we had
There you
to
go.
discuss the contract first and everything, or no?
Yeah, maybe.
More liability.
Yeah. All right, so
Right.
you've got the bottle down there, Rob. Why don't you tell us what we're drinking real quick?
We are drinking Wilderness Creek, Kentucky straight bourbon,
All right.
100 proof.
Bottled in bond.
Bottle and bond.
Yes, bottled in bond.
Very nice.
So the details are up on the screen here, and it's the mash bill, which
Oh.
we were kind of surprised at because we haven't had one
Pleased.
of these in a while. It's a wheater, 64% corn, 24% wheat, and 12% malted barley.
So no rye.
No rye.
So
in this one.
have we seen a mash bill that's had wheat and rye? Is that a
the
thing?
the 4-grain, right?
Oh, a 4-grain.
Yeah, well.
Is that what it means to be a 4-grain, or is it two different types of corn, two different
Well,
types of
no,
wheat?
I think you're saying within the same mash bill. 4-grain is like 4 separate bourbons with 4 different mash bills, right?
No,
That's not 4-grain.
it's made out of 4 grains.
All 4.
So
So,
this
just
is-
to
this is
balance
three-
out.
Four
this is
distinct
3
grains,
grains.
which
That's what I
is
would think.
corn,
Yeah.
wheat, rye, and barley.
Right.
Nice. Okay. I'm not
We
sure
like
I
the
ever
four.
I
No,
never put
this-
2 and 2 together on that
I didn't either.
to make it 4.
I was thinking mash bill 4. I was thinking the whole time that it wasn't 4 grains. I thought it was 4 like strains of mash bill.
like a blend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, when I first tasted this, the first thing I was like, this is really smooth. It's really easy to drink. It doesn't kick your ass, even though it's 100 proof. It doesn't bite you.
No, there's no
Now-
bite at all.
I'm finding that the more we're becoming alcoholics, the easier it is to taste the rye and enjoy it.
Right.
And I'm actually enjoying some of the rye. And so we haven't done a wheat in so long to go back to the wheat, which was our original. The smoothest is crazy because it is so easy to drink.
Yeah, like that Life cereal one.
No.
That was so yummy.
No.
I thought it was good.
We'll
You guys
get-
all complained and
We'll get
complained.
that out and see if you like it.
Yeah, the Texas Giant, you can have it.
That's
That's what it was,
Or
right?
Giant 95. I don't
Giant
know if it said
95?
Texas on it, but yeah, Giant 95.
Very harsh.
Well,
You guys.
We'll have to try it again,
not the
but it
bourbon.
was like eating a hunk of Yeast.
So
Yeah.
Mikey wouldn't have liked it.
Well,
Nah,
think
apparently
Yeah.
not.
Paul does. though.
Paulito
Apparently
liked
not.
That's all right.
it. Paul.
All right, so this has been aged 5+ years. That's impressive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it is.
Yeah, it's
how
a
much
nice
is
price
this?
point.
What is the price
It was
point?
$50.
Oh,
Yeah, so I would say 2 thumbs up. I wouldn't. Maybe we should start doing like out of 5 stars. Like how many stars would we give it? I'd give 3.5.
I'd give it a 4. I like it. It's smooth. It's got sweetness at the front. It's got enough of the spice going down at the back.
Got a 4 here. What do you think, Rob? What'd you put it at?
I think 3.8.
There you go.
Oh, we're
yeah.
getting
I'm
pretty,
about 3.5.
pretty detailed. Yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, so it's
Yeah.
not bad.
Good.
I'd say it's a winner.
So we all liked it.
It's about a B.
Very nice. All right, so getting back to the tournament, we were talking about that's the exciting thing happening in sports right now, Rob. I don't know if you have been following the tournament at all.
Tournament. The women's NCAA
Yes,
tournament.
well,
you
no,
mean?
No, the women's swimming.
We're about
UConn.
Well,
UConn
it's
in the
swimming.
Final
Is it
Four.
Mia Thomas? What's her name?
It's a
Leah.
Leah.
We'll get into
God.
that later.
Don't
Oh.
even start with that, really. I was thinking javelin, but yeah, you're right. It might be swimming.
I
Anyway,
heard
have you been
she
watching?
got a boob job.
Who? Leah did?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He
Yeah. She,
he got a boob job,
No, it's a she.
I thought she had
She-
one at the last meet. No?
but a boob job
boob job?
Seems to me
Looked a
it's
little-
kinda,
in between meets.
Just one?
Now, what are you talking about now? But
Okay, wow. Anyway, yeah, back to basketball. I was gonna say, have you been watching the tournament at all or no?
yes.
Who you following right now? Do you have a race horse in the race or no?
No, out of the Final Four, I do not. I tend to dislike the ACC. So Duke and North Carolina, right? They're playing each other, so that's good. One of them will
One of
be
them has to
eliminated, but
lose.
I want the other one to lose. I don't really like Kansas either.
Yeah, I don't
So-
have.
So
I don't-
you're all for Villanova then?
Villanova, I love. I'm a Big East guy, an old Big East guy.
Where's
so
Villanova?
UConn,
Where is Villanova? Do you know?
Philadelphia,
Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's one
city
of
of
those.
brotherly love.
That's
right?
brotherly
go.
shove. That's one of those schools you're not quite sure where they're at, right?
I don't know
it's
where any of them are.
Villanova.
Temple.
It's
Temple.
very rare for me to know exactly where the teams are, and then when I find out,
St.
oh,
Joseph
I didn't know they were there. Like Notre Dame, I have no idea where Notre Dame is, right?
Notre Dame.
I think St. Joseph is in Philadelphia too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, what's the one in New Orleans? The Green Wave.
Tulane.
Tulane. Yeah, that's another one. I mean, I don't know where it's at now.
Tulane is in New Orleans.
Yes.
Had no idea.
It
That's
is.
the thing. I have no idea where any of these colleges are. That's kind of cool, though.
I have a friend of mine that went to grad school at Tulane. He enjoyed it.
Nice.
What about Rice?
Well, I know
Houston,
Rice
right?
is in South Houston.
What about it?
That's good. Where is that?
South Houston.
South Houston?
I think so.
I don't know.
Is it not?
It's in Houston. I would say that. I don't know
It's on
any
the
more
southern
than
part
that.
of Houston, I think.
It's
I don't know.
it's definitely in Texas.
But
Yeah.
we're getting away from the basketball
Well,
tournament
that's
with
kinda
that
what
talking
we
about
always do.
Rice.
I think it's run its course. We kind of established that it's kind of the exciting thing
We
that's
were
going
also
on right now.
talking about how NCAA versus the NIT, and
Yeah, it's in Houston.
sharing with
Yeah.
the
So
NIT is basically the secondary or the minor
the
leagues, or
runner-up.
the runner-up, not in tournament. What does NIT actually stand for?
National Invitational Tournament.
look at you, man.
Look at that.
The
Damn.
hell,
Steel
you're
trap.
just throwing out all sorts of sports trivia
Look up
over here.
look up St. Bonaventure. That's my alma mater. They were in the NIT and they were doing pretty well. I don't know what they did this past weekend though.
Well, I know the Aggies are playing tonight. They're in the Final Four.
Are they?
Yeah, and they're playing tonight. You might be playing right now.
Okay.
So I'm not-
St. Bonaventure might have played them. I know Bonaventure won the first couple of games, but I'm not sure what happened after
You
that.
may have to go back and hit news.
Small university, upstate New York, south of Buffalo.
Oh, they're
Who-
playing
who's-
Xavier.
who-
Yeah, they're
who's-
playing Xavier, and they're down by
Oh.
10 points.
So Xavier Musketeers
They're
head back
playing
to
them now?
Madison Square Garden
They're
for
playing
NIT
right now.
semifinals
Well, great.
versus St. Bonaventure.
Both of them
and they're
were or are in the Atlantic 10, Xavier and
All right,
St.
so they're
Bonaventure.
See,
down by-
Xavier's another one. You know where Xavier's at?
I do not. I
It's in
told you I don't know where
Cincinnati.
any of them
It's in
are.
Cincinnati. It's like 2 miles from
Where you used to live.
Cincinnati, from University of Cincinnati.
Did you ever
Okay.
go there?
Yeah, I've been to some games there. They have the crosstown shootout between the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Xavier was it the Musketeers or whatever
Yes.
they're called?
Mhm.
And
Nice.
those were always big because they're 2 miles apart. And
Big rivalry.
Yeah, the basketball's a huge rivalry, and it was always fun.
Oh, I'm sure. All right, so
I wouldn't mind going to a
A&M's
college
playing
game.
Washington
It's fun.
State, Rob. Washington State, and that is later today after the Bonaventure game. Did I say
Okay.
that right?
So
So
this
where
is
is Washington State?
Washington State, I believe, is in
It's in
probably
Tacoma.
Virginia, Fairfax.
Could be.
Okay.
It was
I don't
George
know.
Washington.
So
right?
are the tickets when you want to go buy? Are these tickets comparable to like NFL tickets?
Yes,
It's ridiculous.
especially the
you
Final
mean the
Four.
NCAA or the
Yeah.
NIT?
Oh, either.
Yes. Well,
NIT,
maybe not.
no, but I don't know actually. But the
Probably not.
main tournament, oh my God, they were
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's expensive. They had them here.
Wow.
Yeah, they did.
One of the few rounds they had here. Was
Fort
this
Worth,
year, I
right?
think.
Fort Worth
Was
this
it?
year.
Oh, it was here this year. Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
they had some games here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they
Shelley
had-
looked it up and it was like we should all go, and I was like, $400 a ticket.
Well, there was a couple of pretty big upsets in Fort Worth. You know, those 12 versus 5 seeds or something. I think there was at least one, if not two of those,
Yeah,
or something similar.
yeah, it would have been fun to watch.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, so
It's not unusual to have at least the first round in somewhere around DFW anyway.
Yeah.
Well, actually, after I paid so much for those Dallas Cowboy tickets, $400 is nothing.
like for the memory, you mean?
Well,
The
I
good
mean,
memory you have
or-
of the post game.
or the lighter
I
wallet.
enjoyed it. I have a great memory of it. You
But
know,
the bail,
To a certain point.
when you got bailed out, that
time.
dwarfed how much you spent for the ticket, didn't it?
what do you mean? What?
When you got bailed out?
Oh, you mean jail or what are you talking about?
Yeah,
From the post game festivities.
yeah.
Oh,
I
Lord.
mean,
Nah, I don't want to talk about that so much. But you know what? For the
Still too
experience
close.
report,
we
I,
Too
like
soon.
to.
I
we
don't
like
even
to
know
talk
how
about
much.
it.
I forgot how much I paid for the tickets. Honestly,
It was $800 a ticket.
was it 800?
Yes.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Are you
It
kidding?
It was something ridiculous like
Yeah.
that. In fact,
Well, good for
I
you.
think it was more.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was more.
Because you told me it was.
Does your wife know that?
me?
That's okay. She doesn't listen to the podcast.
No, she does know I spent a lot of money.
And
I
you
forgot
took- and you
actually how
took
much.
Austin?
Maybe it was 800
No,
ticket.
Austin was your driver. Who'd you take? Oh, you took. Okay.
No,
you-
Austin drove. Our producer drove us down there. We saved money from driving down there.
There you go.
And then we took a bottle of bourbon, and I had already pre-filled these plastic, those little
Bladders.
these bladders that are designed for booze.
It's like a plastic
And
flask.
yeah, so essentially, and you put it right in your front pocket. It's so enough. It's like 10 ounces
Right.
of bourbon in each one. So I filled up. I don't know how many people were there.
180 of them.
There's 4 people with us, so we had 4 in there. Everyone got one. We did a big ass double shot before we went into the game. I
Okay.
mean, it was fantastic. When we got to the seat, I ordered a big, large Coke, dumped the whole thing in there.
Nice.
That's not true. Dumped half in, and then I started drinking more, and then I dumped the rest of it in there. And by the time I finished that, like the third quarter, I was snookered.
Yeah, I bet. And
I
you're
was
like,
snookered.
you're like, are we winning? Like, you had
I
no
hadn't,
idea
I
what
hadn't
was
eaten
going
anything
on.
because we had a lunch before we went to the game on purpose. So we had a big lunch. So I didn't start to really get munchies or anything like that till well into like the halftime third quarter.
Right.
And then I finally ventured out there.
Then you stood up and you was like,
Oh.
holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Stumbled around the concourse.
Then we went into like the main area, and I bought like 4 beers and 3 shots of tequila, and it was
Ooh.
like, that'll be $110. I was like, oh my
Plus
god.
tip.
For sure.
I mean, I don't remember exactly how much it was,
Did you just go, I'll
but
just
that's
take
a very
this.
reasonable. That's a very realistic number. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
it was an outrageous number for what I purchased, and I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, whenever I go to sporting
only
events
once.
with my father-in-law, he insists on getting double everything. It's $34 a pop.
Wow.
Every drink, every double drink, which is
Double
not
rum and Coke.
which is not big. I mean, we're talking just they're not big.
Right.
$34 a pop, man. It's
Well,
hard to
Well, it's
stomach.
only double of one ingredient, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Not both.
I mean, it's 2 shots of Bacardi and a splash of Diet Coke, and I guess
Mhm.
that's it. $34. Boom.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Jeez.
stomach. Like whenever you're buying a drink and you know that you can buy almost 2 bottles of
I
that
know.
in
yeah,
the
Bacardis,
store
yes.
for the one drink you just had. It's like when we were bar hopping in Vegas. It was hard for me to stomach every single drink, and I'm talking little drinks. They were $20 a piece.
Well,
Yeah.
moving forward for the rest of my life, I will make taking bladders into these little things. I don't care, man. I mean,
know.
look, these things are small. They fit in your front pocket. It's not like you're carrying something huge. And
we brought the big one into the bar the first time we tried to do this.
The big one.
We brought in. I don't know.
They
it's
called it.
long.
What was it called?
It was called Smuggler's Delight.
Yeah, it was called the Smuggler's Delight, the little packet, and it was
like a bodysuit.
It was big.
It was a large bladder. It was like the things they shove up your ass kind of bladder,
like
to
the enema
clean you
bladder.
out. It probably fit about, I don't want to lie, at least a bottle of wine, probably a full bottle of booze, if not almost a whole bottle of booze in there.
Or like peach.
So it was filled up, and I brought it. It was
Peach bourbon.
wintertime outside, so I brought it in my jacket, no problem. Snuck it in there, sat it on the chair, and
Now, where are you sneaking it into?
this
again?
was up at the bar up the street. It was not
Okay,
Coach
so you're
Joe's,
sneaking
the
it into a
Rebel,
bar. Okay.
and it was. I mean, so we order these drinks, right?
Just
we order
Cokes.
these drinks.
That's
two
not
Cokes,
even
please.
expensive drinks there.
No,
I
but
mean, what's
it
wrong
was-
with you guys?
It's a challenge.
This
but-
was an experiment.
They
Did
had,
anybody try to frisk your bladder?
They
Or-
didn't. So when you buy the bladder, it comes like in a 4-pack or a 5-pack, and you get one big bladder and then 3 or 4 smaller ones. Well, we only filled up the smaller ones at first. So when you pop the top on the small ones, there's some resistance. You have to like press it in order for it to shoot out. All right. So
that sounds fun.
well, so
It's
I
like,
mean,
like
it's a
milking the
little-
cow.
It's kind of a
It's controllable.
It's safer. In other words, so it's not going to shoot out.
So
Oh,
there's
God.
no leakage.
This
You don't need
large
depends or
one?
something like that.
Yeah, there's
the
no
same
leakage.
time,
It
or-
kind of,
okay.
but the large one didn't have that
It's under
safety
intense
feature.
pressure.
So,
Yes, it was.
so I had the large one, and it was aimed down, and then I had my glass, and imagine there's a full bar. We're right in the
Same
middle of
down.
it.
Trying to be
I
sly.
Put it upside
I
down.
popped this
hold on.
top off.
You're in, like, this wasn't the rail yard. You're like,
No,
This-
this is
no, this-
inside a
this-
bar.
This
This
was
is
the
Joe's.
Rebel
my
or something.
God.
Well, anyways, I popped the top off of this. It doesn't have the safety feature where you have to apply pressure for it to shoot out.
Safety
You're
feature.
doing this in the corner somewhere.
Yes. No,
we were
Nobody
in
can
the
see
middle.
you. Or
We were right.
So as soon
Yeah,
as
he's
I
spraying the waitress with
popped
bourbon on
that
her
top
face.
off, no, I'm not, dude. It was like
was
I
a
was
cord.
urinating.
It was like
It was like
your
a,
index finger worth of.
well, it was like the
bourbon.
size of a pencil. It like shot out like 10 feet.
And then you're like, you jam your thumb over it and you start squirting out the
No,
sides.
because you have to. It's got this bladder. It's all flopping in your hand. And it's a little thing like a sports drink kind of tap. You got to kind of close it. So I'm jumbling with it. It's all over.
There's a
And-
screw.
and the whole floor smells like bourbon. So people are walking by and they're like, "What the?"
It
these
smelled
guys-
so bad.
it's better than some other smell, I guess. But,
Yeah, there could
that
be
they,
worse
they
smells.
thought you probably did at first.
Anyways, that was a bad experience, and you live and learn. It's unnecessary to carry in a gallon in a bladder. Let's just be honest.
So what do
A
you
whole
use
bottle?
that? What do you use that big bladder for now? If
we tried.
in the
I
pool or
actually-
something.
I think you took it to the movies and left it there.
Yeah, I have one more in my. I
Like
just
by
I just
mistake?
saw it.
He left it by mistake. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You must have drank the whole bladder.
Well, you were with me.
Was
so.
that Midway? Was that Evan Williams?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
You don't remember?
Okay, no, I don't. But I didn't hear the part where you left
so
your bladder there.
Well,
The only
in more
focus of
ways
that
than
night,
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Seriously, the only focus of that night was what happened. Bad things that happened to me, not you or anybody else.
Nothing bad happened to me except getting thrown out of the bar because of you.
Yeah.
I'm hearing impaired.
that's the first time.
I was loud.
That's
I
the
didn't
first
know how
time I've
loud I
ever been
was.
approached where they're like, "Sir, if your friend doesn't calm down, you guys are gonna have to leave." Paul's all hyped up
Paul
on.
was like,
He's
very,
out of his freaking mind.
I'm talking about. We were talking about politics, and I'm hearing impaired. I don't know how loud I am.
And you had a bladder.
But
He
someone
was
complained.
No,
shit-faced.
that was Sean. I wasn't shit faced.
Oh,
Yeah, we
you were
were.
beyond shit faced.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
Dude, I was. I wa-
but I can remember the bar.
I
There are
left
things
my
I don't
phone
remember
there.
afterwards.
That's how drunk I was.
Yeah, you left your phone there. That's
Well,
right.
to protect the innocent, I don't think you should reveal that.
That's
should you?
a good.
Like,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
If there
Rod.
was any innocence,
on advice
anyway. But
on advice of counsel, I declined to answer. All right.
Anyway, so the producer pulled up a variety of these plastic
That's exactly
vessels.
what it looks like.
Yeah. Well,
it has
So
a pop
what-
top like that. That
Yeah.
just kinda pops
Yeah,
up?
it just
Okay.
it unscrews and it's
if-
like a big
if you're-
hole.
Do you have
you're
to
going-
massage it first or something,
No.
or no?
if you're going camping, it works pretty well. I mean, if you're trying to sneak a pour inside of a bar, it's kind of cumbersome, you know.
So, like, if the waitress were walking by and she saw you doing
This
that,
big old
Yeah.
stream of
so
bourbon.
do you think she would just have ignored it, or would she have walked by and said, "Sir, you need
She
to,"
probably would have told her manager.
and then the manager would have
would
walked over and
think.
said, "You need to leave"?
Probably.
Probably.
Is that what you think would have happened?
Yeah, and I would have left. I don't care. Yeah, but well, you know what made it even worse? So Jeff and I have these 2 drinks loaded with bourbon, and the ice is melted. So now it's miserable.
Now you just need
You
ice.
even put ice
now
in
we're
it?
like, and then we had like a Coke, and it was kind of a Coke bourbon, and it was way too strong.
So it wasn't even enjoyable.
Oh no!
And the whole area just smelled of bourbon.
And
It was so strong.
the band that opened up was like a '90s band. They played all kinds of stuff like Stone Temple Pilots, and
Nice.
then at a certain time, the band stayed, but they had a few players exchange. Like the singers left,
That's right. I
and
forgot.
then a bunch of people left, and then Jeff and I just sitting there. Next thing you know, the tribute to the Heart band just showed up. You've got Joan Jett and Heart, and we noticed some people left. Well, the only people left were like these couples, and so here Jeff and I, and then there's like little husband and wife, boyfriend girlfriend, and then Jeff and I sitting there,
And you're completely
then-
shit-faced.
and someone's like freaking playing the Heart songs, you know,
All the
the
love
slow.
songs.
And you were yell singing together.
Yeah.
It was an uncomfortable evening.
This one was at. This one was
It wasn't
at
I
the
can't see
Revel.
that going on
the
there.
Revel. What was it?
It was before whatever.
Oh, the Revel.
The Grove.
Grovers.
Grovers or something.
Grovers.
Like
Yeah, Grover,
Yeah.
which used to be Coach Joe's, right?
that. Correct.
Originally.
Yeah, they
I
just
liked
keep
Coach
bouncing,
Joe's
bouncing,
a lot.
bouncing.
Yeah.
Although Revel, it's been the Revel the longest of anything.
Yeah.
It still
that
is?
it's been so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's still
still
the
is.
Revel. It is.
Okay.
It's an interesting dynamic over there.
It's a beautiful location. I mean,
it's
the
a great
location maybe
location.
not be. I mean, I was saying that the actual establishment, like it's nice and roomy, and they've got like a
for a
back,
bar.
yeah, they have
But
the backside bar, and
But
a
they've
nice-
got the issue of the Frisco laws. Do we have a 50-50 rule?
I don't know what the problem is with that place. I don't know.
You
It
know,
doesn't seem to do well.
No, well, that's because I think they have to. There's a balance. I don't know if it's 50-50, 60-40.
Right,
or,
food,
and
and
booze.
vegetable. Yeah,
so
yeah.
because it's not very conducive for. I mean, I wouldn't. Hey, where you guys going to go eat? I'm going to go eat at that place.
It's a bar. I mean,
You know,
it stinks like
Coach
a bar.
Joe's was probably the most restaurant.
Right.
That it's mostly when it was a restaurant. You know, and then
yeah,
they
lots
had,
of teams went there after playing like baseball
Yeah, that's-
games.
that's
stuff
well,
like
but they
that.
had
Yep.
you show up and they've got like menus and it's not. I mean, they had burgers. They had a chef.
Yeah, no, I mean, it
and,
was
and now they got some cook in the back that's like dropping wings. You know.
yeah, no, it's a bar. It truly is a bar now, not
Yeah.
not a family restaurant type of deal. So,
But they've always had entertainment there.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
not bad. I mean, you know, it's
I think
it's run of the mill cover bands that you would expect there. Really,
Yeah.
And some are pretty good.
Journey.
Yeah,
I think
they
a
had some
Journey
journey there.
covered-
Yeah,
Cover band was there years
Shoot,
ago.
my
and-
company used to be out there doing karaoke,
really.
DJing and karaoke out there.
Yeah, why
for-
don't you still do that there?
Maybe
I-
you should
I
suggest it.
don't know. I'm done.
Are you done with that whole thing?
No, well, I mean, I don't know. As a business, I'll subcontract some stuff, but
Right,
it's just not worth my time.
right. It takes a lot of coordination.
It's like for one show a week per month. I mean, I basically it's like $125 a month, and for
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm like, it isn't.
I mean, that's
worth it.
one bourbon.
I mean,
Or one
if
one
you have-
bladder.
If you have a bunch of shows going on, then you know it's worth it because it's kind of a hobby because you don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
you just
if you
subcontract
build up
everything.
like 8 teams all over the
Yeah.
Metroplex.
Now then that's kind of fun a little bit, but no,
Yeah.
I don't care. No. But my point is I even ran sound up there when they had the big bands play.
Yeah.
Because they had the X32, the big soundboard, the soundboard I know how to use.
yeah,
And so there was a band that went up there, Night Shift, with Anthony Nagid, the keyboard. And I think I invited Jeff up there.
Yeah, I couldn't come up for some reason. I got something going on.
Oh, you didn't? Who was that was up there
It
then?
wasn't me because you called and I was like, I can't make it. And I was
Oh.
just disappointed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Paul that he can remember.
well, no, I don't get invited to stuff like that.
Well, it's a tier 1 event. So
yeah.
You know.
I think I explained the tiers to you.
Yeah,
Rob.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
TEARS? Is that?
Well, that too. It can be hurtful for people that are lower tiers.
Well, it's oh.
It's a minimum of what, a boat and a cabin to get tier 1? Or is it an airplane or jet?
Yeah, the cool thing
What?
about running sound up at that bar was for this particular time was because when I loaded in my gear, I loaded in a cooler. Sat the
booze.
cooler on a bench. No, it was just like a 6-pack of beer.
beer.
It's like some Belgium fat tire beer or something like that. But
Right.
it was iced and everything. And every time I
Nice.
wanted, because they sell, that was like one of the few bottles that they had up there. Was the so if they see me with a fat tire, they're like, well, he ordered a
He
fat
ordered
tire
a
from the
flat
bar.
tire. You brought a case and
Oh, someone was with me up at the soundboard. I don't know who it was. I thought it was you
No, it wasn't me.
because I can't sit at the soundboard alone. I have to have companionship. I'm very codependent when it comes on stuff like that.
you get lonely.
Well, it's not just that, but it's the experience of sitting up there with a live band playing. That's
this
fantastic.
is like when you walk up the little stairs and you're in the little elevated box.
Yes,
They don't have that anymore.
No, it's now an office,
It's up in the front.
but at
No,
the time,
but still
now
it's
an
elevated and it overlooks the front stage.
well, yeah, it used to be up there, and then they dropped it down below.
right.
But I've been at both of them.
Yeah.
And oh my God, of course I want. I mean, who wouldn't want VIP seats?
Yeah, it's kind of
Right.
cool.
You know, when you got your own beer, you're up there by yourself. You're
Yeah,
like,
sure.
you got control of everything. You got light
Just
controls.
sitting there nude.
You just.
Oh, you were
I'm not watching Twilight. What the hell?
you were nude in the box up
No,
there?
no. There was no Twilight stuff going on.
Oh yeah, that's just a Jeff thing.
And
He
Jeff,
and his
Jeff
wife
binge
binge-watched.
watched Twilight this past
I
week.
did. Hey, I love my wife.
And apparently it was all nude.
What does that got to do with
it
it?
was
all
I don't think there was
nude
any
and,
nudity
empty
in
nester
Twilight, was there?
experience.
And we acted out scenes.
they LARPed in
That's-
Twilight
That's
outfits.
Great.
Yes. No, we didn't do any of that.
So have you seen the Twilight trilogy, Rob?
Is it a
It's
trilogy?
actually 5 movies.
Oh, quintilogy.
No,
A
just.
is that a word?
I don't know.
Quintilogy?
I just made it up.
that works.
Yeah,
It's the one where the
it does.
vampires and she's not a vampire. and then
Yeah,
she-
I've seen bits and
Spoiler
pieces
alert, she
of
becomes a
who knows
vampire.
what.
Lots of teen angst.
teen angst.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said eggs.
Teen eggs.
Well,
I
there's
was like, you get to see
There's
some of that?
that too.
there's
yeah.
at least one egg that gets
That's
fertilized.
true.
Jesus.
Oh, my
you know
gosh.
what, man? Is there something
Were
else
we
can talk
on the
about?
NCAA
Yeah, seriously,
or
why are we
what?
talking
What's-
about?
You
Okay.
brought up
No, we-
Twilight.
Let's
We
move
went
on.
Bladder and downhill from there.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about
How'd
what's
we
on our-
even get on the bladder? I don't know, but
Well,
what is on our topic list. It's
Oh my God!
It's
I'm done
spring.
with NCAA. I mean, look, I can only handle so much. So they got the what's it called? The 4-pack up next. The Final Four
Final Four.
Right.
is coming up this
and
weekend.
we're all rooting for Villanova, I guess. Right?
I will.
That's- okay.
I will. I'm just looking forward to some good games. I mean, they have been some good games lately. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not. I don't have that NCAA March Madness fever. I very very seldom do. In fact, I think I've only had it a couple times in my life.
I used to have it. Don't have it like I used to. And I get that way with college football.
College football.
Yeah, I love the college football.
Yeah.
You,
Not a big basketball fan.
I'm more
but
college
you
football
wane
than
you
March.
wane
but
on it some. You go back and forth as far as how
no,
involved you
I
are,
lost
depending
interest
on-
of it. We were talking about this earlier. I lost interest
just get burnt out.
because the kids these days don't stay in school, right? So a lot of these kids are one and done.
Yeah,
you can't
one
follow
and
these
done.
teams anymore. And when I was late teens, early 20s, maybe whenever that year that was,
10
when
years ago
George,
or so.
it was 10 years ago, when Georgetown was winning with Patrick Ewing and all those folks, right? So
Well, that was more than 10 years ago.
yeah, that was 30 years ago.
20 years.
84
Lord.
or 85. I
25,
won
30,
I won a
35.
pool that year when Georgetown won.
But
so.
you know,
Nice.
you could follow teams, for
You seem to be
2,
the
3,
authority on
four
not,
some
years.
of
not a
these college
swimming
games.
pool, but
Yeah, no shit. He
Yeah.
knows his
in the
NCAA
dorm.
history here.
Yeah, so then you had the Twin Towers with it, Samson with at Houston, right?
right.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Twin Towers was like
Hakeem
something
Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon
Boston
and Ralph
Celtics
Sampson,
had.
right?
No, that would be the Rockets. Houston Rockets back-to-back championships.
What is it? Twin Towers though? We were talking about Twin Towers. I thought it was like Larry Bird and somebody else.
No, this was
No,
in college.
no, it
This
wasn't the
was in college.
Celtics. It was-
That would have been Hakeem Olajuwon and Rob Sampson.
Is that the Twin Towers?
It
Yes,
is.
in basketball. It is.
Interesting.
College basketball.
Ralph Sampson.
What a great
he
nickname.
didn't go to Houston, did he?
Absolutely.
Except the fact they fell, but I mean that's
Absolutely.
At the
I thought he
time.
went to like Virginia or something like that.
No, this is a pro. Twin Towers in
Oh,
the Rockets.
okay,
Houston
okay. I
Rockets.
thought you were
I think
talking
they
about-
played each other though during the college, didn't they?
Oh, they might have. Ralph Sampson was what, 7'4"?
Yeah, he was tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was watching it, and I lost a little contact when I first moved down here to Dallas in the early '90s, and then things changed in college basketball where the kids are, they have the right to, they all have to do is play 1 year in college, and they go to the pros now.
I apologize, Jeff.
Right.
I want to interrupt you. I'm going to lower my rating on this bourbon.
Why? Because it's empty?
No, it's more than full. I'm going to lower it to 3.
Wow.
And here's the deal. I think it's lost some of its luster.
Is it watered down?
No, I mean we only put 1 cube in there, and it was it's about 45 minutes old, right?
Well, the cube could make a difference.
Well, mine's empty.
Well, the
so
cube would make a difference, and plus I think it's just gyrated a little bit there.
Yeah.
What was up with that?
I
That's
still
kind of
think
weird.
it's all right.
Mine was fine. It's empty,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
I'm
Did
just
your
saying.
palate change?
I don't know. I don't think that's what it is. I just took a pull right now, and it just didn't hit me right. I'm thinking
Maybe you had like a hunk of pepper in your tooth that just broke free and impacted it.
That could be it. I think there's a high probability of that.
You should have brushed this week,
all sorts
maybe?
of shit stuck in his teeth, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
and
what did you
and
eat today?
several
Don't
things
answer
could have
that.
dislodged.
Yes.
And considering,
Flack.
you would know all about this, Rob. wouldn't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah,
Anyway,
let's not
get into
moving
that much.
on. It is spring. It's officially spring.
Yeah, March 20th.
is it?
March 20th. Yeah, the reason I only know the start of spring is because that's my sister's birthday. It's the
Oh,
first day
okay.
of spring, March 20th.
We're beyond
I thought spring
that.
was like
Yeah.
it changed every year.
No, March
Well,
20th.
no, it's not today.
Like
I'm just
Easter.
saying this is like
It's usually the 20th or 21st, somewhere
always
around
the
there.
20th.
I don't know what scientists determine that. But
And I think it's. I was going to
March
say it's
20th.
wrong, but it's not.
So
I mean,
technically
the
it
trees
was
are
spring
blooming.
last podcast, but anyway,
Correct.
we're talking about it. It's spring. It's fun. It's warming up. Definitely warming up.
definitely
Yeah.
warming.
Yeah,
warming
We're
up.
having fewer and
big old
fewer
storm.
little. Yeah.
Well,
Of course,
big
the
old storm
time
coming right
change
now.
helped, right? It's lighter later.
Yep. That's nice.
Yeah.
And we're getting those spring storms. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
we're supposed to get one tonight.
It was quite windy coming in here.
Yeah, it's very
Oh
windy.
yeah, man! I tell you what, for my job, I had to climb on a 2-story roof today.
Oh wow, that's always healthy, smart.
Were you wearing parachute pants?
Well, thank God I wasn't. I'd been parasailing down the fucking street. It was windier than all, man. It was an easy roof. I mean, I don't like to climb roofs. It's probably about 10% of what I do. But it was probably one of those days I probably should have said no.
Yeah,
'Cause
probably.
that wind when I got up there, I never get nervous on roofs.
I mean, what was it? 30 mile an hour gusts?
It was enough to where it moved my fat ass.
Ooh, so 110.
Was it F5?
Was
Is that what
it-
you're saying?
Yeah, we're talking
F4.
full hurricane.
It
strength.
felt like the whole roof was moving. Or
It's very
what?
seismic.
Did the roof come off
shit
with you?
started just moving.
Oh, whatever.
Below me, I was like, oh.
So-
No, but it was really strong. It was very uncomfortable.
They come in gusts, so you never expect it. Just
No.
slams into you.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 second I'm doing great. I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know.
yeah,
this-
which you take your guard off, right?
yeah.
Well, if it's a constant thing, you
Kind
kind
of-
of lean into
Yeah,
it,
you're
right?
kind of wandering around the roof, looking, all of a sudden, boom.
Well, and then well, to make things even more troublesome, the roofer that shows up, which is what they call the ladder assist, he sets his ladder up, and it's just one of these really lightweight aluminum ladders and extension ladders. You know, it's second story, not a big deal. He's got it in this little nook, but this the extension ladder was it was at its max. All right, so
Oh.
it
Now,
only
were
was
you-
up-
were
So
you
it's kinda
already on the
bendy.
Yeah.
roof?
I was already on the roof.
So you had your own ladder,
well,
unless
no,
you
I-
going
climbed
in
up
the
there
middle,
I
some
knew
other way.
he was bringing a ladder
Never.
because I always make sure that the goal is for me not to bring a ladder, and because a single story I've got like this telescopic
Would
ladder.
you have a jetpack to get up there, or,
We
That's
tell him he
cool.
needs to get
or
a
a bladder
drone.
pack, or what?
If the roofer's unavailable, then I will hire someone that can get me up there safely. Sometimes it's a lift, pending if it's an apartment complex or 5-story building or something like that. It
Right.
just depends. But
That's
this-
smart.
this one was just the wind was so strong it almost blew his ladder off. My point is it almost blew his aluminum ladder. It almost blew it down because we're standing up there. We're both looking, me and the roofer, and the ladder was like shrink, and it just hit the side because it was like in this little nook, and it twisted, And I was just like, I'm gonna have to call 911 to get off this fucking roof.
Or you have to call your friend like I did, which was you. Do you
Hmm.
not remember this? It was not even a
Oh,
month
yeah.
ago, 6 weeks ago, maybe. What
I
he's
forgot
describing
about that.
exactly
You
happened.
should have
The
just
ladder-
jumped into your pool.
I was standing on my roof. I'm repairing a hole
That's right.
for
You
my
could have
squirrel.
jumped in your pool.
Yeah.
You man up and jump in your
Oh,
pool.
You were trying to
hell
shoot
no.
a
He would've
squirrel,
bottomed
you said?
out.
No. I was patching a hole where the squirrels were getting in,
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
important.
at the front of the house, and I got on from the back side of the house. It's the only way you can get on.
How were you patching it?
Yeah. Well, I can talk about.
Spackle.
I can take.
Was it peanut butter?
Anyway, so I hear this very, very loud clatter, and I was like, God, what's the neighbor doing?
Ugh.
Like, what the hell's all that about?
Those new neighbors next door?
Grandma
Yeah, I didn't
closed
know
her
what was
legs.
going on, but I was like, man, that was a loud clatter. Then I go back, and I don't see the top of my ladder
Mm.
sticking over the gutters, and I'm like, oh my God,
Oh,
that was
that's
my
what it
ladder.
was.
I look over the edge. Yep, sure enough, my ladder was laying on the ground, and I'm like,
And no one was home.
Well, no,
to
they
make
were.
it worse, the ladder separated or something like that.
Right. So I called my wife, and my middle son's there, and I'm trying to. Yes, the ladder came separated when they were trying to pick it back up.
Is that what it was?
Yes, and they didn't know how to put the ladder back together, and I was like, and it's kind of tricky. I don't know if anybody's gone
Yeah,
through
well,
that.
if you
What kind of a
don't-
ladder
if
is
you've
this
never
that it
messed with it.
separates?
Well, it's an extension ladder, but if it comes out of the rungs,
Oh, okay.
like it'll separate, and it's tricky to get it back in there.
Right.
I got really frustrated trying to get it back in there one time. Anyway, so I had to call my lifeline, and of course, hey, what's going on, Sean? Well, what are you doing? I'm just playing video games. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm on my roof, and my ladder blew down, and he's like,
It's like the walk of shame.
Oh yeah, totally. And I was like, and then of course it took you a sweet time to get over. And so I'm just,
I was
I'm-
there like in a second.
I'm
He had to
kidding,
finish
I'm
the
kidding.
game. Come
right,
on.
right.
Come on, Dad. I gotta
Anyway,
finish the
and
game.
I'm just sitting on the roof, waiting
he's
for Sean to
sunburnt.
come
was
over.
was it really delayed?
No.
I thought I was over there
it
pretty
wasn't,
quick.
It wasn't that bad. I think you did finish the game though.
I did.
Had a kill streak going.
It was like this Final Four weekend. I was in the math.
Yeah, right.
you don't think you could have leapt into the pool?
Oh hell no.
No?
No.
He
It's not that
could've.
far
That's
from
a-
your roof,
that's
is
a-
it? You get a
that's a-
running start.
That's a 4-foot pool.
4 foot
you-
deep?
you
well, you
would've-
do like
Well, you'd have to like slam, like
Dude,
belly flop it.
there are clowns.
You're
that
not
jump
that
off
high
these,
up,
these
are you?
high rises into a bucket
It's a 20
and they
foot.
survive.
It's a 20-foot roof for sure. Got to be 20 feet.
Yeah, you'd have to
you
belly
think
flop
so,
it.
Sean? 20 feet, you think? Or,
Oh,
or is he
yeah.
exaggerating?
It's 2 stories.
It's
It's
2
around
stories.
20 feet, 22 feet.
But you
Yeah.
can climb down to the first story from there, right?
There is no first story. It's all 2-story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
And
Yeah,
there
I
wasn't
gonna-
anybody at the church that you could shout to or something to please help?
They'd be like, "There's
pastor,
some crazy
whatever.
guy on a roof yelling at us."
Is there any alternative other than calling Sean?
So did
Yeah.
you like take
Oh, I know.
video and?
No, I sat up there for 90 minutes before I called you.
Oh my God!
There was no way I was going to call you, but that was my only option.
And meanwhile, your wife is just sitting down outside and watching you?
Yeah, she's
or-
watching Twilight.
And
or
your
something.
son?
Oh, I enjoy watching Twilight.
I had chalk with me, and I wrote on the sun panels, "Please help."
911.
SOS.
Yeah, SOS. So because I'm in a flight path.
That would be
so-
a good excuse for work the next morning, maybe.
Oh,
Hey,
that-
I'm
that's
I'm
still
stuck
on
on
the
my roof.
For the
You know,
last
for some
18
reason, I don't
hours.
recall you climbing down. Did I leave or something?
Yeah, I climbed down. I mean, it's not like you put up the ladder and scampered away. No, I climbed down.
Did I use my ladder or did I fix
No,
your
you,
ladder?
yeah, you just put the ladder back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had brought over. I've got.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, you had somebody with you. Who was that guy that was with you? Like one of your daughter's boyfriends
Oh yeah. Leighton.
or friend? Friend, I
Yeah.
should say, maybe.
Oh, that's how lazy I am. You
Yeah,
know?
you had him do stuff.
Yeah, I'm just like.
You get the ladder, put it in the truck.
Yeah,
Pick
he
up
was
ladder.
instructing him to do stuff.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Put that together.
Yeah. What are you doing? My friend's on the roof. Come on, man.
I still don't have a beer.
I didn't have a beer up there either.
I'm surprised you didn't take any pictures of like Paul peering over.
Oh my God, that'd have been great. That'd have been
no,
a dudes like
it
us
wouldn't
moment.
have.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, this is a dudes like us show today, right?
It is.
Hi, my name is Sean,
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
and we got a special guest tonight. His name.
Is Rob.
There we go.
We're a little late into the
Yeah,
show.
we're
Or
late on that
Scott.
whole
You know.
thing. If you haven't figured out that it's dudes
What the
like
fuck's
us.
going on with Scott?
Yeah.
I hope he hears
keeps
this.
having a work excuse.
It's
I don't
2
know.
weeks
He
in a row,
does.
Scott.
That's his life, his work excuses.
Yeah, we need him here. He would have fun with this.
It appears that he works hard, but That could be just appearances.
It appears.
Might be.
We have a chair.
Well,
We're
maybe
all ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
We're all ready, man.
He would be a hoot too. He would
He's
Yeah,
an owl.
absolutely.
probably
He would
dominate the
definitely-
conversation.
He definitely would jump in. There's no question about that.
So, what does he do for a living?
Cement?
Yes.
Is he doing concrete still?
Yeah. Concrete.
So I know he changed jobs. He's not doing the overnight cement.
Right.
What a job that would be, right? Would you guys want that?
Yeah, he's.
You know how when crews are working like 24/7, like overnight, and you're driving by. I don't know. I mean, I'm usually never up that late anyway, but they got the lights going on, and and
Right.
that's when like dangerous stuff happens,
Yeah,
right?
people.
Well, that's when you
people
gotta get
driving
shit done.
through it, and
Oh yeah, drunk people driving through it.
he has
I
some
mean,
great stories. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I don't think I would want that job.
Work or otherwise, but
That depends. I mean, if it's your 9 to 5, I wouldn't want that. But if it's contract,
I would imagine you make. I mean, that's kind of hazard pay, in my opinion. I think you would get paid
that
pretty
night
well.
work is hazard. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. So, anyway, I would.
But
that's
shout
why-
out to Scott. We'll get him here sometime.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun.
He'd be very entertaining.
yeah,
The ratings
Show
will go
up.
up. He probably will insult some political figures and everything, but
Well, that's
that's
good. We
okay.
may get to that later, so we'll do that ourselves.
well,
I'm
be
sure
doing
there's
that.
plenty of that to go around right now.
Well, there's lots of it. Man, we got so much to talk about. We got the Will Smith thing. We've got Joe Biden and with his nonstop gaffes. We've
One
got,
after another.
Oh my! And you hear what Putin said today?
In,
I mean, it was him
in
saying-
retort to him, to
Yeah.
Biden? Okay.
You know, it's just. I mean, look, he's kind of like, we'll be watching him very closely to hear it. But he's going to walk us into a goddamn world war.
I know.
He needs to go, but Kamala cannot be the replacement.
Dude, he needs to be.
Can you imagine?
I
I mean,
can't- I
Tucker
can't say.
Carlson is talking 25th Amendment to get Biden out. I'm like, are you sure? I mean, are you sure you want that? I mean, Harris. Can you imagine Harris on the global
But hold
stage
on,
as president?
let's process
No.
this. Let's process this. There was conversation about bringing Trump into what?
Speaker of the House.
That's right. So, hypothetically,
You'd have to impeach Kamala.
You would
You'd have to impeach her. How would you get her out?
incompetence.
Well, we
that's
talking.
not that easy. It has to be a diminished.
Can you do a
well,
25th Amendment back to back?
Where are we skipping Trump? Let's get back
Yeah,
to that.
where's
I mean,
Trump
how
gonna
is he
come into
getting to
play?
Speaker
Well,
of the House?
He
I
was
mean, because
nominated.
Kamala is in
he was
is the
nominated.
Senate.
He was nominated for the
She's-
Speaker of the House.
No, they said they were going to. He
No,
didn't.
well,
he wasn't.
You
I
have to
heard he
be-
was nominated.
Hold on, you have to be in
You have to be a
Congress.
No,
member
you
of
don't.
Congress.
You do not have to be a member of Congress to be nominated for Speaker of the House.
that
I
cannot
don't
be
believe
true.
that's correct.
Producer,
I wouldn't. put
That
anything past
cannot
that.
be
The
true.
No.
founding
You do
fathers.
not have to be part of
have much
Congress to be
more-
Speaker of the
yeah.
House.
Then they don't
I
get
mean,
a vote.
Today's politics ignores a lot of the founding father stuff.
Yeah,
so
apparently.
I wouldn't doubt it.
All right. Well, we're gonna find out here. Do you have to be part of? You
Yeah, I
gotta
don't-
be. I mean, that's how
you
it
know,
works.
I was thinking the same thing, but they were saying you don't have to be part of Congress to be Speaker of the House.
The
You
Speaker
have to
of
be
the House
nominated.
is the
You're nominated. That's
no.
it.
so Speaker of the House
Well, it
is
says
the
no
majority.
there, whoever that is. American Conservative
Okay. Well, look at
Movement.
you. All right. So it says no. Scroll down. Donald Trump does not have to run for Congress to become Speaker of the House. Okay. I don't. When Donald Trump did a radio interview, okay, conservative host floated the idea that Trump could run for Congress in Florida. That's so interesting. Blah blah blah.
Republicans have the
Well,
majority.
it says down at the bottom, it says there's no constitutional requirement for him to be an active elected official. He simply needs to be elected by a majority of current members
There you
of
go.
the House of Representatives in order
Needs
to
to be
become
nominated.
second in line of succession to the presidency.
right.
Well, so he could be that like after the 2022 elections.
Well, that's
Correct.
what happens. Yeah.
Correct. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, it does not
Okay.
require the Speaker to be an incumbent member of the House of Representatives.
That's crazy.
that seems awful easy, but
That
has
means-
that ever happened before?
Oh,
I
no.
wonder.
I don't
No.
know. I don't know.
But look, we're in uncharted territory right now. We have no idea what the hell's going on, and frankly, I think the United States is turning on Joe Biden. 72% of them really are nervous about his next step and his gaffes and what they're going to cause.
well, you s-
72.
Well,
Yeah.
you saw that he said all these things. There's like 3 or 4 of them he said right in a row. Then I saw, is it Peter Ducey from Fox?
Yep.
Was asking him,
Mhm.
you said this and this and this and this, and he's like, I never said those.
Yeah,
Right. He's trying to do the whole that didn't happen.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't say
that
those.
wasn't me.
And then
Right.
the news is like, well, here's where he said it. Here's
Heard you
where he
talking
said it.
shit
Here's where he
to
said it.
Putin. Wasn't me. Heard you talking shit to wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
He's a nut, man.
He's just not
I don't get it.
not all there. And then the whole talking points thing happened again today.
Oh, his little
Yeah,
flashcard.
He's sitting there holding his flashcard and almost showing it to the press, and so they zoom in on it. And
Yeah, why don't you just take a look at
it's
this?
got the questions and it's got the answers and like really, I mean,
Or
I mean,
he's
do
a
you
little
want
confused.
that,
If
or
it
do you
doesn't
want-
have it, then he's lost.
that's right. That's the whole point. And
Now-
meanwhile, we're at the crux of war.
Look,
No.
the
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to go back to the whole thing of bringing Trump into. I mean,
I don't think it'll happen.
well, of course it.
No, it won't.
But well, you know what?
It's fun
Wouldn't
to
that
think
be
about.
funny?
It'd be
Oh,
funny,
it'd
but
be
I don't
great
think
to
it'll
think
happen.
about.
Oh my
Well-
God! Imagine to replace Pelosi with Trump and have him get Biden out of there by impeaching him for corruption and have him go to jail.
Well, we'd have to win the Senate.
Well, we're going to win the
That's,
Senate. and
that's
kinda
why
in
Trump
the
was
House.
impeached, because we had the Senate. Otherwise,
That's why
Trump
it
would
was
have
or
been.
wasn't.
That's why he wasn't convicted. Put it that way.
That's why he wasn't removed from office.
That's why he wasn't
Correct.
removed off, because we had
He was
the-
impeached.
We had the Senate. He was impeached, but he wasn't removed.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
So
Twice.
we have to win both.
Twice.
For that
Was
to
he
happen.
impeached twice?
Well, yes, but the second one was complete. Well, the first one was
They were
bullshit too.
totally bullshit.
Bullshit. So,
He
and
was impeached twice. And then
Well,
they had to
how,
steal the election to keep him from being president.
how do you think he would react if he was president now? What would he be doing in response to this
I don't think Putin would have done
Invasion.
what he did.
That's
in the first place?
Yeah,
yep. I think that's true.
I think Putin was biding his time for Trump to get out of there to see what happened, and then he started, because he's been building his troops for a year and a half.
Right.
So Biden
Yeah.
got in there and he started building his troops on the edge of Ukraine.
Yeah, but there's been some other stuff going on too. I mean, Ukraine's not innocent in this whole program.
Well, no, Ukraine's not the
Yeah.
lily
Well, they're-
flower that
yeah, they
everyone
were
thinks they are.
Jabbing the beast, you know.
Yeah, well, they
They're
shut off
highly
water.
corrupt.
Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, the place is what. It doesn't have any sovereign borders. You know, it just.
Yeah, it does. No, it does. It definitely has that. It's a sovereign country with borders.
I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it does.
It is.
It's its own country.
Absolutely.
I thought
Yeah.
it was still just part of Russia.
No,
No, that's what Russia
Putin
thinks.
wants it back in Russia.
But no.
When Russia broke apart in the 90s,
The
Ukraine was
Soviet,
part of it, just like Soviet
Union,
Soviet Union, just like Chechnya and Georgia and all those over
And
there,
Belarus.
Kazakhstan and
Belarus.
Belarus. That was all Russia. Now they're their own countries.
Well, as
and
far as the
Putin wants them
Russians are
back.
concerned,
After-
it's not a sovereign country. It's kind of like when it's kind of like the analogy you created about California trying to emancipate from the United States, and then all of a sudden trying to side with Russia, and we're like, no, we're taking California back. Suck
See,
it.
that's how Putin wants the old Soviet Union
Right,
put back
right.
together. That's what he wants.
No.
But those
I-
countries don't necessarily want that, and Ukraine absolutely doesn't want that.
I think Ukraine is too corrupt for them to even have an opinion, because any opinion that the Ukraine has isn't for the better of the people. It's for those conglomerates that are that have the deep pockets there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I
Dude-
mean, there are people that are dying to fight for their freedom.
It's sad because you're right.
Well,
I mean, they're literally
that's-
fighting for their
that's,
freedom.
That's people themselves.
But
I
there's-
mean, people
Right.
will always do that.
It just
Hence
sucks
the
because we don't
American
know,
Revolution,
and we don't know what to
everything, right?
believe.
Right.
They've got all they've
but
got.
I know
so
I
much
know where you're going with that. There's shadiness.
bullshit going on.
Definitely some
Well,
shadiness going on.
Unfortunately, I think right now, even if Putin decides, all right, I'm done, I'm pulling back, what kind of shape is Ukraine going to be in?
Oh, it's a mess.
I mean, the whole
Yeah,
country
but
is
look,
a disaster.
Ukraine is a source of natural minerals.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
a source of valuable minerals.
Of course.
You know, and so who cares? Is what Putin's thinking. Fuck it. Let's euthanize these guys, and we're just gonna take the great
resources.
stuff from the earth.
The
and-
resources. Yeah.
And that's what China's doing. I mean, you think that we left Afghanistan? Do you think Biden pulled out of Afghanistan just because he's trying to save us money? No. He's sucking homeboy's dick in China, and he pulled out because China is all in Afghanistan, pulling out natural resources and all the precious metals and all the important shit that they need. That's the reason why.
I know we were speculating that was going to happen when we left
Totally.
Afghanistan. Is that confirmed?
That's absolutely
I
confirmed.
have not read one
Well, I mean,
story about
hold
that.
on.
Well, why
don't
would
know
he
if he's
want
sucking
to
his
do
dick.
that?
No, is China in there doing it right now?
I have
Elders.
not heard
China was in Afghanistan before we even pulled out. Period.
I have not read
Well, why
any
did
of
we
that
even allow them in there, so to speak?
because they were on their way out. They
it
really-
didn't.
Who was on their way out?
The
Well,
U.S.
China could do. I mean, we're not at war with China. China can go into Afghanistan and do stuff as long as
Well, we can make
Afghanistan
some stands here and there,
agrees
right?
to
Or what?
Sure,
them
yeah.
cooperation. They can have little factions of little Chinese, because that's essentially what has happened. Is that they just went into a mine, they took over it, and I mean, they're going to do the same thing. If I'm kind of wondering, if Putin is, what does it say there?
I'm not reading that whole thing.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was a
not
lot
either.
to read. Deciphering the China in the Middle
Yeah,
East.
China's a whole different thing. I mean,
I-
we got Russia and China.
they're-
Yeah,
on,
I
on
think
our
I
And then
think
they're
backs.
for the
China
long
definitely
game.
has aspirations to get into that mix. I'm not sure it's
No, they're there.
established.
Well,
They're
what was
there.
their response to Biden when he kind of warned them not to go in there, so to speak?
No, they're- but they're there.
Get involved with the Russian Ukraine.
They kind of reiterated their solidarity with Russia. They didn't face the threat head on. They just said we stand with
I think she wants
Russia.
that door
We're
opened.
solid partners. So that it is what it is. That's been China's stance up and. But now they also were kind of critical of the fact that Russia invaded Ukraine. They wish they hadn't. They did say that officially in the beginning, at least.
At least they waited till after the Olympics, I guess, right?
Well, so the word is they asked Putin
right.
to wait
Yeah.
until after the Olympics.
Correct.
Mhm.
They asked them to. Now, what was that all about?
I just bumped my elbow. Sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of
One of the things that we're going to start experiencing over here are tremendously increased food costs, because Ukraine is in the top 5 or 6 in wheat producers.
Now I heard that most of their wheat goes to Africa.
Well, that's
The United States
on a
takes in
global
18% of our wheat consumption comes from Ukraine
Oh, that's
currently.
a big deal. That's a huge deal.
18%.
That's a huge deal.
So bread's going, everything with wheat, right? So
Right.
stock up on pastas and breads and corn chips. Oh, that's corn.
Corn. So anything
chips.
so
Wheat
anything
chips.
Wheat
gluten
thins.
anything gluten free is going to be okay.
Right. Right. You have to
Yeah,
have
but that's a
rice
big deal.
beans.
Safe.
That
It's a
is
big
a big
deal.
deal.
And you know what? I don't even know what to say anymore. It's so frustrating because, we were winning with Trump and now we're not. And,
No.
What a perfect storm of everything. We have overspending in government, like crazy overspending, right? More than normal.
and,
They wanna spend
and
more.
Not just overspending, but irresponsibly overspending.
Yes, irresponsibly.
Like, hey, we're going to give you an extra $100 a month because we're sorry gas prices are so expensive.
They're,
Here you go. Here's $100.
Did that get
Right.
passed? Did that get passed?
I don't know.
I hope it doesn't. I don't need $100.
So
You
yeah,
know,
so you
But it
got
doesn't matter. You don't have to take it. You're
So-
still getting taxed for it.
so you got the overspending, you got the inflation
That's already my
already.
tax money.
Inflation was already running away.
I don't know how that works.
I don't even know if taxes covers it. Really, that's
I don't know.
I mean,
it's disincentivizing the workforce.
they're
But,
they're charging 61 cents out of the dollar for every fucking gallon. Is that right?
the government
taxes?
Oh, that can't be that
government
high.
taxes.
I
Well,
think
they've always
for-
been
is it
pretty
every
high.
gallon, or is it for every dollar? It's like 61% of every dollar
A
goes
federal
to
tax?
taxes. Goes to, I don't know if it's city,
Well,
or
there's
federal.
all kinds of taxes on fuel.
but there's so much. I think it's like 61% of fuel
Okay, so
goes
what
to
is
taxes.
the federal? Look up the federal gas tax, because
or just gas tax.
I would imagine that there's
Yeah,
a federal
gas
gas
tax.
tax, and then each state has the option of adding to it.
But
like
there's so
California.
much, and I because a lot of that gas tax goes to rebuilding roads and things like that. That's
Right.
which they don't do.
All right, so here is gas taxes and what you need to know. Excise taxes that you pay when you fill up your car with gas. Federal government and states both impose gas taxes. Much of the revenue raised goes towards like highway and infrastructure projects.
That's what they like to.
Yeah, that's
So
what
it
they
says
like
the
to
average
say.
state gas tax is to nearly 60 cents a gallon.
It says here by the Texas Motor Fuels, as a comptroller of Texas, Texans pay 38.4 cents in taxes for every gallon
Texas
of gas,
Both federal and state,
That's just
or it
federal.
doesn't say that.
and then 44.4 cents for diesel per gallon.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So is it the opposite? Are they
So
paying
federal-
40% or 60%?
So federal taxes include excise taxes of 18.3
So that's
cents
just federal, though.
and 24.3 cents on diesel. So federal is 18.3.
Oh my
And then
God!
states add to that.
Now imagine. So you get the federal expenses, which is then you have the
That's why your
state.
gas prices are so
All right.
high.
Right.
Then you have the folks that are
Or one of the reasons.
working the oil. The ones that are producing it, the ones that are working their ass off in the field, sucking out of the ground and converting it. I mean, that's a lot of money. And the government takes that much?
Yeah.
Shame on them.
I think something that folks don't think about when you hear people say we need to get off oil is what is everything made out of? It's made out of
Everything's made out of oil.
petroleum.
Yeah. What it's made out of, what runs the country. I mean,
It's not just gas in your cars. It's almost everything that we have is made out of petroleum
It would seem
in
to
some
me
manner.
that
right.
instead of trying to change, I mean, it's fantastic that we have these Teslas.
Or clothes.
We have these little golf carts that you can plug into the wall and they run. Great. You know what? If I could afford one, I would probably buy one too because they're convenient and they're
Right.
kind of cool. They're
They are
technology
cool.
really badass. But the reality of it is that we run on fossil fuels. So if
Like
there's-
massively run on
that's
fossil
it.
fuels.
We run on fossil fuels. I mean, well, whatever. My point.
I can't drive
coming up-
across the country in a golf cart.
No.
That's true. So the point is, it's just like any kind of resource. Like let's talk about lighting, and like in this room right now, you know, you got incandescent lighting. We're like, well, how can we make it cost effective for lighting? You know, they started coming up with LED. Well, guess what? It still takes electricity.
Right. But a
However,
fraction.
it's a fraction of the electricity.
Right.
And but it's got that weird 5,000 Kelvin lumen. Well, they figured that out. They dumbed down the drivers on there and figured out how to make warm lighting from LED. So it's the same thing we got to do with the fossil fuels. You know, they got to come up with these different types of engines that are, or maybe it's the mechanics of the engines
Right.
that just make it more efficient. That's it.
Well, for instance, I was watching a video of Paul's truck that he almost got,
Almost got.
Yeah.
and the
So
different
every
levels,
time you turn it on, you have to
well, the different levels.
sacrifice
it
a
or
child.
something?
Well, the
or-
different levels of the truck use the exact same engine, but it has different fuel efficiency, it has different horsepower, it has different torque. It's the exact same engine,
Right. So they're tweaking it.
but they're tweaking it in separate different ways to get better fuel efficiency, better torque, and horsepower.
And why wouldn't you do that automatically to be the most efficient engine you could possibly make?
I know from
That's right.
top to bottom. Why don't
So
you
that
just
you
do it?
consume more. It's the same thing
Because
they're
they
doing.
want to charge more.
It's the same thing
Correct.
they're doing with electricity when they're talking about these phasing with motors. You know,
Right.
we talked about that a week or two ago.
Right.
You know, phasing of motors. It's ridiculous while you have a transformer outside that runs at a different frequency than the motors inside. It's like, well, who's programming that transformer outside?
Right.
Can't we just change it so that my motors don't have to consume twice as much power
I would
to
say
get the
that-
same
okay,
output?
So in summary, what everybody's saying here, right, is that we could run lots and lots of things more efficiently. What we probably don't, because it makes somebody money.
It's stocks.
Hmm.
It's the stock market.
It makes somebody money.
It's
but,
the Department
but-
of Energy.
But even if we made it as efficient as we possibly could, we still we still cannot get off of
It's
fossil
the
fuels
Department
yet.
of Energy is
Correct.
corrupt. It's just as corrupt as the taxes. The what is the tax?
What?
What is the tax?
IRS?
Yeah, the
IRS.
IRS. The Department of Energy is more corrupt. I mean, think about it. Why are they making transformers that don't sync to anything?
I don't know.
In fact, they say, let's line up with all the different stuff we have. Put everything up
Oh,
in a
these are
line.
transformers that blow up on the poles.
Yes. Let's line up everything we have in the house. Let's line up everything we have in the businesses. And let's figure out what's the transformer we could put up on the pole that's going to produce the most fucked up energy that we can give to everybody. And that's what they do.
So can we put a transformer in between that and our house?
It's,
I don't
yes, yes, you can. And that's what they're doing. These
Right.
companies are starting to do that now. In fact, it's amazing the output. It's like it's kind of like dirty water coming
Right.
in, and you're consuming dirty water. I don't know what they call
so
it.
the
Ground
Brita,
loop
the
isolation.
Brita faucet of Transformers. Or something?
They
Big
it's
filter.
I'm not.
Mhm.
I don't know. Is the short answer? But I know it has something to do with the frequency of how certain things work, and it's just like if you.
So is this a new technology? Not necessarily new, but a new industry that is coming out to be able to do that.
Yes, because there were these homeboys that were just smart. They paid attention to chemistry and they never went to high school and they skipped school, but yet they're in their fucking farm and they've just said, I just bought this because I was just matched up and it works. And I forget they got these YouTube things. This is fucking from like the early 90s. And they're like, I just bought this and it changed the input output ratio from like 1 to 2 to like 1 to 10. It was amazing how much more efficient these.
So this is the early 90s. Why has it not gone anywhere?
That's why I'm saying it's the Department of Energy. I think that they're in bed with people.
Meaning they're okay with people like being inefficiently using or
Absolutely.
using electricity because
So these
they
big
stand to benefit.
Electricity is just like everything else. They make money off of people sucking up
That's
electricity.
what I mean. So these big electric companies have the lobbyists in Washington who say
And
you need to shut down
this
company ABC because they're starting to do these transformers or whatever.
this shit has been going on since the early 1900s because and I'm playing a little conspiracy theorist here, but when
Thomas
you have
Edison,
Tesla, when you have someone like Tesla that says,
Elon
"Hey man,
Musk.
we're going," no, it
I know.
they say when you can have free power because the Earth harnesses electricity, and Tesla has some sort of mechanism that could pull electricity out of the ground, and this huge network that you would have free electricity all over the planet. But all of a sudden, Tesla dies of some mysterious illness.
Well, I think it was gangrene.
And then
diphtheria.
he's got all his notebooks and his plans that are in a safe in his hotel.
It was the Black
And,
Plague.
Some
be.
dudes that came in and they open up the safe and they take all his shit.
the
And
tsetse fly.
and they go and then
No, it's a patoo, patoo, patoo. It's more like Star Wars.
oh, okay.
Star Wars
So
did
they
not go patoo.
So there were
patoo.
aliens trying to suppress the technology of Earth.
Man,
They're
look,
prepping us for an invasion.
I don't know
I'm
what it
telling you.
is, but it's not right.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think we need.
Conspiracy theorist 101.
Yeah, I think I don't think there is any
Very
doubt.
good.
I don't think there's any doubt
Boy, I wish I had a nickel.
that there is incentive to not be efficient with fuel.
Right.
No question about it.
Like I said, people
But
are
again,
making
going
money.
back to, is there something that anyway,
Nice.
we need to get off of fossil fuels, but it needs to be a baby step scenario, right? We go to liquid liquid natural gas, LNG.
Again, do we
LNG.
need to
You
get
go
off of it,
LNG,
or
you
do
go
we
to
need to
hydrogen.
dumb it down to where it's the matter? It's the matter of consumption. We need to dumb down the consumption of our fossil fuels, and we're condemning ourselves because you have people in administrative positions that aren't allowing these engines to be developed that consume less.
Right.
It's like all of a sudden it's like, hey, you got some dude in the left corner that's producing this engine, and the guys that are the oil sellers are like, well, fuck that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, we talked about it last week.
Right.
We're not going to make any
I
money if this engine comes out.
absolutely remember when I was in high school reading an article in Popular Science about a ceramic engine that got 100 miles per gallon. In high school. So what was that, 118 years ago?
At least.
So, you know what I mean? And so that just quietly went
It was
away.
during the Yellowstone, 1883.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, before, they were still using wagon wheels, I think.
Before Tim
Yeah.
McGraw.
Anyway.
I had a
So-
buggy whip business. I used to make these little whips for buggies.
What?
You know,
Back in those days?
yeah, back in those days.
Back when you were in high school?
Yeah.
Was it the final boss, is what you're saying?
Okay. You know what?
This wasn't the Underground Railroad.
I have not seen any of those shows. I haven't seen Yellowstone. I haven't seen 1883.
Very good. I have to say,
I don't even know
1883
where I find Yellowstone. I was told it was Paramount, but
it
it's
is
not
Paramount. It's Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
I have not watched any
It's
of
a-
that either. So we're blissfully ignorant, we
Hey,
could say, or are we,
Paul,
we better
you-
off for it anyway?
I'm not. I'm
You
not.
do have
Here's the thing. I'm not blissfully ignorant because I've been hearing for a year or longer that is the most amazing show ever.
That's
Do you
good.
still have your YouTube show? YouTube thing?
My
YouTube,
YouTube TV. I had to go back to it. Yes.
All right.
Why'd
So
you have
if
to
you
go back
have
to it?
YouTube
You had to
thing,
go
Spectrum
back
sucked.
to it.
if you have your paid YouTube thing, you can get Yellowstone there.
On
You may have to
on
pay
YouTube
more.
TV.
Yeah, YouTube
So it's
TV.
an add-on to YouTube TV.
It's not an add-on. It comes with it.
I don't think so.
It does.
Like illegally.
No,
It comes with what?
YouTube
He's
TV.
saying if you subscribe to YouTube TV, you get
But are
Yellowstone.
there different packages on YouTube TV?
I think
You
so.
just have the top of the line.
No, he can get it.
Yeah, he pays $1,000 a month, so he gets everything.
No, because I have watched Yellowstone on YouTube TV.
Well, I know, but there may be different packages, is what I'm saying.
It was his package. I don't have YouTube TV anymore.
You watched my package,
Well, I
When
have-
was that? That was during
I
the day
have,
son of
sometime
a
when you were
bitch.
at work.
I have
Meaner.
right? I'm
I-
over at his house for 5 minutes. I put on YouTube TV just because he doesn't have anything, and now he's got it forever.
From you.
But yeah,
From
but
me.
we have Parliament too, so it doesn't matter. But my point is that
Parliament.
well, is that what it's called?
Paramount.
We have
Paramount.
Parliament. What the fuck?
You're
Oh,
talking
we
about-
were
you're
going
talking
over
about
to,
C-
to
he's talking about
England now
C-SPAN.
or something.
Yeah, he's talking about C-SPAN.
Dude, my point is that you have it
Yeah, okay.
because
well, I
I've
didn't know
watched it
that.
on YouTube
Well,
YouTube
please.
TV.
When we take our break, I would like you to enlighten me. I need to find that.
I just
Because I
Do,
don't know
do
how to
that
find
in
it.
another
There's a
room,
little
please.
magnifying glass. You select that button. You type in Yellowstone,
did that.
and it should populate up there on the screen.
We absolutely did that.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Not there.
Could be blocked.
Kevin,
Now, 1883 was there.
But it's not your fault, Paul. It's an
Yeah.
aptitude.
now what's
thing.
1883
it is.
about?
So
It-
that is apparently
Aren't you
a
an
prequel.
IT major?
It is a kind of a so Yellowstone is modern day ranch up in Montana, right? So 1883 is
Earlier.
their family back in 1883 when they're on their
Yeah.
way to Montana
they got
to
there.
establish the ranch, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an
So it's
offshoot of it, kind
Yeah,
of.
it's a prequel, right? So it's their great
It's like-
great
it's
like
like
Dallas,
all-
and it had the different shows coming on.
It's
back when
like all
Dallas was
those
on.
Western movies all wrapped up in one. They've got fucking tornadoes,
The Pony
they got
Express and
bandits,
everything.
They
they've
have
got
Indians, banditos,
they got the last
No wonder-
Mohican.
no wonder it's
Buffalo.
so
Are you
Are you
interesting.
talking about in 1883?
Tatankas. Yes,
Conkas.
Wow, Tonkas.
Tonkatoy.
Yeah.
Tatankas.
Buffalo.
No, it was good. The last episode is tough to watch. I have to tell you.
Oh, really?
Oh, you cried.
Very emotional.
Yes, extremely.
Do you strip your clothes off?
Yes, we were.
Is this
nude.
before or after you watched Twilight?
We acted out all the scenes.
In
To
1883.
both of them?
Final. Yes,
So this is the thing. So you and your wife act out whatever you watch.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, the DC, the Marvel movies are interesting.
Yeah, they have a new version
Oh, you
of
do? And
Yellowstone
like you jump off the
LARPing
table
where
and put your hand in the ground.
I'm Thanos.
Like
yes.
those.
no,
the
he's
hero-
the cowboy,
with your
Julie's
hammer.
the Indian. Stop it,
right.
or I'll say stop again.
What's the safe word?
Come into
Hula
my
hoop.
teepee.
Hula hoop.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Wombat.
Okay. Anyway, I'm glad we're off of the fuel thing because that's a crappy subject.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
tell you
starting
what.
I
to
spent
I'm starting to get a
$100 filling
headache,
up my
but-
expedition. $100.
Your expedition.
Well,
90
think about it
The-
when
the
you get that
Tundra would be a
fucking
little
tank
bit
that you're
better,
about to
probably.
purchase.
Yeah, it would be a little bit better. But
How
I'm
big
not,
is your tank in your expedition?
I don't think you heard, Rob. I bailed on the
Yeah,
Tundra.
yeah, I know.
bailed
Yeah,
on
but
it.
can you imagine if you
Oh,
would
no,
have
I
got
did
the?
too.
Well, there
did
wasn't
too.
any
If you were gonna
bailout
get it-
to Toyota. was
How
there?
much more was the
No.
tank?
Okay.
I mean, actually, they seem to be pretty much the
I have
same.
a
right?
35-gallon tank in mine.
You talking about the Tundra?
And what
the
do you
Tundra is
have?
32.
Good lord.
32
Mine's
gallons.
35.
Well, I don't know
The
how much
expedition
my.
is 26, and it was almost $100 to fill.
No.
Wow.
A lot of that
Do you use
taxes.
like premium gas?
No. It was $94.
Well,
$96.
Well, because I had a quarter tank, a little less than a quarter tank, and I put $92 in today. But I have Kroger money, right? The
Right.
fuel points. So I
Yeah.
had 40 cents off.
Oh,
so,
that's good.
So it knocked it down to $3.29.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's
How often
great.
do you get? Is that every time?
No.
No,
You got to
no.
build up the fuel
No.
points.
Yeah, I had 40
Oh,
cents.
it's
I
just
have a-
like buying a unicorn bourbon.
No,
You
I
just save up points.
I've got another 50 cents for next time I fill up. I fill up once a month now, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, so I
well,
mean,
you don't have to drive anywhere.
as much money as you spend at Kroger, you get points, right? You know.
Yeah,
that.
you
Oh,
get
yeah,
points.
okay.
Yeah, but
Okay,
do you also have a Kroger credit card?
No,
Oh, okay. Because it sounds like you're getting
Is there
faster
such a
points
thing?
than I am. I don't know how you're getting points so fast.
I don't know. Oh, it's a point per dollar, right? And it takes $100.
Probably eats a
every
lot
time
of
you spend
Kroger
$100
food.
at
Yeah,
Kroger.
he eats a lot of Kroger food, even though they're empty nesters.
Yes.
I think you guys are gluttons.
Well, if you spend $100 a week, you get 10 cents off every week.
They buy.
Right, I fill up
they
once
buy
a
nothing
week.
but the best.
I fill up once a month, so that's 40 cents.
Yeah,
So
they
you-
don't buy that shit tuna
So you
fish.
strive
It's
for that
white
$100 a
albacore.
week.
No, it's got to be albacore.
It's got to be white
albacore.
albacore from off of New Zealand.
Humanely
Yeah.
caught.
Yeah, no net fishing. How do they catch it when there's no
It's a
net?
hook.
Hand, catch it by hand.
Yeah, they
swim with it.
That's
It
the
says-
the very
it says that-
expensive.
It says that on the can. Every fish is hand caught for your safety and pleasure.
Well, the
That
fish
would be
the fish
very
was
expensive tuna.
the fish was not stressed. And,
Oh, it swam up willingly.
You just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like a dolphin kind of a thing. You just ride the
It's
tuna.
like you've treated us so
the,
well. I've been chosen by the group,
Yeah.
Right.
and I'm here.
Yeah,
Harvest
the-
me.
the free
Slaughter
range,
me.
Feed me
free
to
range
very
salmon.
and deserving people.
Well, those tunas can get huge.
You know,
it sounds like
the halabuts are freaking
somebody
huge,
from
too.
those.
Yeah, those can get
Oh
huge.
yeah, those get huge.
Yeah, there's I worked at that.
They're flat.
The Humperdinck's in Las Colinas was like a fine dining seafood restaurant. I worked at that place for a little while, waiting tables, and they had these. You walk into the place. First of all, Humperdinck's is like it's like a Bennigan's on steroids.
I think
Oh,
they're,
yeah.
out,
It's a
of
big
business. They're out of
place.
business now, aren't they?
They left.
Yeah, I think they're all gone.
Bighorn Brewery purchased. They were a subsidiary of Bighorn Brewery, and Bighorn Brewery just basically pulled out of Texas.
Why?
Uh,
Do you know
I
why?
don't know.
It's weird. Why
No.
would they do that? I mean, I
Must
remember
not
it
have-
being
must
a
not
pretty
have been
popular place.
profitable.
The
Yeah.
business model was failing.
I don't
here.
think they were in on
Just-
the gas tax and everything. So
Yeah, well,
Apparently
they
not.
didn't get in on
they
that.
they had a bunch of things going on, but back at the time it was cool because they had the halibut fish there, and I remember the chef it was big ass fucking fish. They had a display, and the fish was probably like 3-4 foot long.
Yeah.
I mean that's without the head, you know. And I remember they would leave it in the display, and
nice.
during all day at lunchtime, and at dinner, and at night they bring it in and they would freaking slice it up in all those little slices, and it would be the next day's special.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was-
they would do that in front of everybody, or just for employees' pleasure.
Well, they just they did it after close, I guess. There was the display was out front for people to see the fresh fish.
Yeah.
So it was a
Yeah.
day-old fish by the time I got it.
At least
So it's like put some chow on
it was
Man,
not still alive.
But they had
well-
an interesting concept because you know they would make the staff there talk about how the fish was caught. You know, this was like Alaskan from the sailor or the shipmate Bruce Gore. Bruce Gore was the guy. It was a group of
Al Gore's family or
Oh,
something.
that's
or-
very interesting. Could have been Al Gore's, but
you go.
Bruce Gore from Alaska would catch all these
Halibut.
Copper River salmon.
Oh.
And Copper River salmon were very particular type of salmon because excuse me,
God,
copper was
I
like
think a little phlegm came up on
Yeah,
that.
no
it wasn't
shit.
phlegm.
Wipe
I've
off your
got that.
microphone.
What is that thing that like hangs
The
down the back?
uvula?
The
That's your,
epiglottis.
that's your vulva.
the
You-
vulva. The
It's dripping off your microphone.
no, it's just I got allergies and it's like swollen back there.
Okay.
So it's like a huge penis hanging on the
vulva.
back of my
well,
throat. man.
Paul can help you with that in a separate room
Oh,
later.
No.
At
Oh,
break.
Well,
I'm out.
Paul's good at that
I'm
too.
out.
He's
Can't
very
cleanse
proud.
it.
He's extremely
I'm
proud.
not
Well, he
touching his
helped you on
vulva.
the roof. You owe him. So big time.
I'm
Yeah.
pulling in my favor. Fix my vulva.
It's
Not
uvula.
Volvo.
Yeah,
Vulva.
Volvo.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
So the Copper River salmon, they would catch them at
stop
the
down.
The
so
Copper River.
They would feed. Okay, so the whole thing is that the salmon have to get from where the fuck they're born up to wherever they're going to breed.
Via
Yeah.
the Copper
Yeah,
River.
the end of the Copper fucking river.
And then they die.
So-
It's a miserable life.
Yeah, well, it is until
Until you eat 'em.
If they make it to
Then
the
you
end,
enjoy
it's
it.
kind of like that's the
Dying
end
by,
game.
dying
It's a-
by
I
orgy.
mean, think about it. They're ever since they were little, they
It's like
swim
the Underground
all the way
Railroad.
up to
You got to make it to the very end to be
they
happy.
swim all the way to the top of this river, and then they lay their eggs, and then they die.
That's it.
That I mean, or
kind of
but
sad.
for-
or they jump into a bear's mouth.
But for the
or
rest
we,
of
or
it,
we work
Or-
our
or
entire life
somebody's-
and then die.
but with the Copper
Yeah.
River
Not-
salmon
not
is,
much better.
is
I see
famous for
similarities.
is that the color of the Copper River is like pure copper. So when you've got like that flavor, it's like supposed to be like the most flavorful salmon out there.
It's like
Very,
mesquite
very
salmon.
mineralized.
Very mineralized to the point where they've made it an art to take the color of that Copper River salmon and basically they add that color to all salmon.
Kind of like fish grown. Oh, what do they call it?
No, naturally grown salmon are naturally pink because of what they eat.
Yeah, but the Copper
Well,
River
you're
salmon.
talking about flamingos, I think.
Yeah, flamingos do the same thing.
Copper River salmon is a
But
different color.
they do color salmon though.
Farm raised salmon,
Farm.
they color the meat, but naturally,
Like the so-called Atlantic salmon.
yeah,
you
those
think?
are naturally pink because of what they eat. The krill or the
Yeah, but
shrimps
that's
or whatever.
pink.
Healthy, naturally pink things.
Right, and there's different salmon. You're
Yeah,
right.
Pink
There's
is good.
different colors
Right.
of salmon, but you think of salmon, it's pink or red or something like that, right? So the farm stuff is artificially dyed, and
That's nasty.
D-
'cause they say
Otherwise it's
DYED
gray.
you're talking about.
yeah, because
Okay.
yeah,
farm-
dyed as in
farm
color.
salmon is gray and it's nasty looking.
Well, how do they harvest it?
What as
Do
a
they
farm
grab
fresh?
onto it as well as like you would a tuna maybe, or I don't know.
Swim next to it, catch it.
Yeah, it's not as humanely caught.
Okay, well let's get off of that. We don't need to.
I think
It was fun.
We
Yeah.
we were on something a while ago.
We
I
got-
don't remember what now, but
it's a typical dudes like us moment where we're just jumping and hopping ship from one step to the other.
talking shit.
not making much
March
sense.
Madness
but,
to Ukraine to gas prices to efficiency
to bladders
to gray salmon.
and to wheat bourbon.
And
I'll tell you what.
and
salute.
Sean's vulva.
Yeah, what the
Vulva.
hell?
Yeah.
Good Lord. I
Right.
cued our producer to
Yeah,
speed
it's time.
up the
It's time for
exit
our
plan, and
intermission.
I don't know what he's doing over
why
there.
the music's not playing. It's kind of strange. Oh, because we have 2 minutes. He says
2 minutes. Okay. Well, what can we talk about with 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Something
All right.
Paul,
a
what
little
about
bit
your
more
penis?
sensical, maybe. But
My what?
Your
What?
penis.
No.
No, we're not talking about my penis.
I'll whip it out.
well, you went to the
What
doctor,
the-
right?
Oh, you had a doctor visit?
Yes.
Checked your penis?
I did not have a doctor visit. What's wrong with you
You had
people?
a penis doctor visit?
This is a HIPAA violation.
No, it's,
We're not talking about my health.
Oh, this isn't your woke fucking work that you work at now.
Yeah, I go by he, him, by the way.
Oh Jesus! Did you have to
God.
clarify that?
I tell you what, every time I see
Or
an
he
email,
maybe?
I see emails and profiles, and they all have their pronouns
I
on
will
them.
not do that.
I
Hi, my
will
name
not
is
either. I
Dustin,
will
and
not either.
I identify as it.
Now, does that come before their name or after
What
the
is
name?
cousin it?
Where is that in
It's
at
the
like
the
in their.
bottom.
It's in their
Exactly.
signature.
Yeah,
Is
in
that
their
the
signature.
bottom?
Yeah, in the signature.
Not
So if
in
you're
the-
just up at
not
the
in their
header,
bottom.
so to speak, you wouldn't notice that necessarily.
Yeah, I started to know some shit like that too. Like something came from a major. I won't say what. Something came from a major insurance company, and their title had like the rainbow flag
Oh,
in their
yeah.
name, and I'm like, why the fuck do I need to know that?
So I was
don't know.
on. I was
Wasn't-
on.
What is the
wasn't-
heterosexual flag color? Can you make your name out of that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the default, Jeff.
I'm gonna do a cock of
Oh.
Well,
balls.
a
So I
fam-
was on a WebEx webinar, I guess, and then the person came on and said, "Hi, I'm Angela Hensing, or
All
whatever her
right,
name
all right.
is,"
We're
and I
talking.
go by he, she, her, and I was like, and
I could-
every single presenter did that, and I
So-
was like, just a year ago,
I guess
2
if you
years
if
ago,
you don't say anything, it should be
That-
what
It's
you would
assumed.
think,
that-
right?
So that's what I'm afraid of. If
Yeah.
you don't do that, they're gonna go, oh, so you're against.
So you're a what?
I
A
would not
guest?
do
They're
it.
you're
gonna
against
cancel
the
you simply because you
transgender-
don't respond.
I would
or
not
reply.
do it. I refuse to
I'm
do
not
it.
going to do it either. I'm
Yeah.
just not going to do it ever.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a break,
All right.
and we're gonna have some
Thank God.
snacks.
The
And have another
lava,
bourbon. I want more bourbon.
the
We're gonna
lava
sample
lamp
another
has not
bourbon.
warmed up yet, so
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Throttle that thing. We got some.
Do we have some
fantastic
snacks
bourbons
or something,
downstairs.
or-
We do.
We have two.
Okay.
Fucking, we're gonna get jacked up.
All right, we'll be back.
Dudes like us.
Bye.